Hello, beautiful, sweet souls. This is such a beautiful moment in the day in my life. And I am wanting to share a little bit about what I'm doing, what it means to express yourself in your life. I've been through countless self-help courses and books and podcasts and found myself not in the same exact space but in a higher spiral. Same sort of issue, just in a different way. And one of the formulas I've created is called sequencing, and it involves as many stages as it takes, but it begins with presence. Always, always begins with presence. Being present in the moment, being present in your body, being present with another human. And what kind of dawned on me recently, like within the last hour recently, is that the framework that I lived my life by almost unconsciously falls under this sequence. You know, everything has a sequence in life. Nature has a sequence. You don't plant a seed and it becomes an oak tree. There are stages, there are seasons, there are phases of our life. And what I've noticed in my existence on the planet is there is presence. We return to the present moment. We return and then stay with ourselves so that we're no longer abandoning what we truly need in the moment. And then we're restoring our own life force, our own prana, our own expression. And then we initiate and we move and we do something about it, right? And so when I look back on my life, and my greatest teacher was having a substance addiction. I didn't realize I was doing that at the time, but I was continually returning to myself, and then learning how to stay with myself, and then learning how to actually restore myself before I take the next step. And sometimes the sequence gets all mixed up. Sometimes I take the step, and sometimes I fall back and I have to restore myself, and then I have to return to myself. It can get really discombobulated. But what is standing out the most for me right now is that life does not move in a perfect sequence as our minds, as Stella wants to tell you. Some things can be that consistent. Returning to presence, returning to yourself, staying with yourself, restoring yourself, and then initiating. And that is a beautiful, clean sequence, right? If you think of it like baking a cake or cookies, or you don't start by taking the pan out of the oven. There's a sequence to making something. There is a sequence to your life. You find the ingredients, you put them together, you mix them together, then you put it into the oven, and then you bake it, and then you enjoy it. You don't enjoy it first and then bake it and then put the ingredients together and then gather the ingredients, right? There is a sequence to things. And what I've learned when I am being asked to express myself, because that's what this life is about, it is about expressing who we are in every moment that we possibly can, as honestly, as truthfully, as beautifully as we can. And sometimes the sequence is return, 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 stay, return, stay, return, stay, return, stay, restore. return, stay, restore, return, stay, restore. And initiate doesn't really always come after every single time. And as far as how this works in time, the whole sequence, return, stay, restore, initiate, could take 15 minutes. It could take 3 minutes. It could take 3 days. It could take 3 months. And so the framework that I live by, because I've seen it work in my life time and time again, you can stay in return for as long as you want, as long as you keep coming back to yourself. Every time you relinquish your power, every time you agree to something that you do not want to do, every time you make a poor choice and start beating yourself up in your head, you come back and return to yourself. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to look very, very messy. And so the other question I keep coming back to is, what am I devoted to in my life? What am I devoted to? And what always comes back to me is that I am devoted to expressing my aliveness. Sometimes that looks like taking pictures of the flowers in my garden. Sometimes it looks like making myself a cheeseburger. Sometimes it looks like drinking water. Sometimes it looks like taking a nap. Sometimes it looks like going outside in the middle of the night and screaming up into the cosmos and then coming back in for a snack. But I know what it feels like to abandon myself. And that's not happening anymore. Not on the big grand scheme that it used to. I used to hand my power over to everybody who asked for it, just so that I could belong, just so that I could fit in. And what I realized is that every time I did that, I dimmed my own light even more. I lost my ability to express myself. So this has found you for a reason. And if you are in a loop of self-abandonment, of inner critic judgment, of overwhelm and exhaustion from giving so much of yourself that you have nothing left for yourself, I invite you to join me. I hold complimentary initiation sessions that we do this with each other, for each other, in the moment. You don't have to bring a suitcase of all of your traumas and all of your worries. We start with the moment that is present. That is what a sequence session is. It is initiating a new perspective. And so when we work together, I can guide you through what it looks like to return to yourself in a moment of fury and irritation and disgust, and decide what is actually calling you forward. What is it in your life that you're devoted to fully, wholeheartedly, mind, body, and soul? What are you devoted to? If you're interested in having a chat, if you're interested in coming into a session, reach out to me, sacredweirdo@gmail.com. You can find me on almost all the socials. Follow, share, like, subscribe, whatever it is. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing the person behind the mask. I look forward to seeing the soul behind the human form. I look forward to shining our light together on this world that keeps continually telling us that you can't shine that bright. You're going to blind somebody. We're here to express ourselves. I'm here to express myself. I invite you to become the expression of your own life.